Hey, bud, what'd you think, man? Let me know some things about what can we expect from you?
Fireworks.
Fireworks. You ready, bud?
Fight that everybody want to see.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so...
Terence Crawford has agreed to Jaron Ennis's challenge for a fight with all his super middleweight titles on the line. This announcement came as a surprise since Crawford had never previously mentioned any plans to face Ennis.
Before, that's my obligation in the contract, and I gotta honor that if, that's the next move for me.
However, in a recent interview while preparing for his next fight, Ennis said he would move up to the super middleweight division if Crawford offered him a title shot, aiming for a 2026 showdown. This would put him in a situation similar to Crawford's, who moved from welterweight to super middleweight after competing once at 150 pounds.
Crawford against Jaron Ennis, for me, is the best fight in American boxing. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford that would get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. And I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that is a real fight. But for me, Boots is the new Crawford.
Interestingly, Terence Crawford held a victory parade in his hometown of Omaha just hours later. When asked about Jaron Ennis and his challenge, Crawford confirmed his willingness to fight. He told Ennis to take the necessary steps if he truly wanted the matchup, saying that if it's at 168 pounds, he's ready to sign the agreement. Eddie Hearn, Ennis's promoter, also confirmed the fight, calling it the biggest and most exciting matchup in boxing.
Him, really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same,
And I need, so after I do my thing, Saturday night and be victorious, I feel like it's only big name fights from here on out, only main event headlines and pay-per-view pay-per-view fighting. So that's my goal.
Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn revealed that Terence Crawford was in discussions to face former unified welterweight champion Jaron Ennis, who is set to make his 154-pound debut against Swiss fighter Mal Limo on October 11th. Hearn called Crawford versus Ennis the best fight in American boxing. He told reporters on Wednesday that Crawford wants the right payoff to capture his full attention, as he knows how talented Ennis is. I'm not saying Crawford expects to lose, but he knows it will be a real challenge. For me, Ennis is the new star. We just need to arrange the fights to show how good he really is, Hearn added.
Basically will be, oh my goodness, is a fight between Terence Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis.
I think that's going backwards for Terence.
To that point, Jaron doesn't have the kind of accolades. He doesn't sell to the mass and all these. So this fight was perfect timing for both.
During Crawford's post-fight press conference, the potential matchup with Jaron Ennis was brought up as a future possibility. The 5-division champion had previously stated he wouldn't return to the junior middleweight division to face Ennis. For the fight to happen, Ennis would need to agree to meet Crawford at a higher weight class. The challenge is that Crawford will only consider fights that come with a big payday, and only certain matchups can deliver that kind of money. According to Eddie Hearn, Crawford is on another level, with an IQ in the ring that's off the charts. To compete with someone like him, a fighter needs the right experience and skills. That's why Hearn said he enjoyed the Ennis fight so much.
But, we made it to the top. No matter how we made it, and, it's definitely a test to say that anything is possible if you, work hard at it and you believe in yourself. And
Ennis was previously the 147-pound IBF mandatory challenger for Crawford, but moved up to 150 pounds last year to defeat Israel Madiramov for the WBA title. With that win, the sanctioning body upgraded him from interim to full champion. He then went on to claim both the ring and WBA titles by stopping Eustachian in April while training for his bout against Limo. Ennis also served as a skilled sparring partner for Alvarez during his preparation for his fight.
And it made it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said, they called And we said, yeah. We never heard nothing else back about it. So yeah, like,
Right.
I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on it.
However, Alvarez's intense training didn't allow him to perform at his best, as the Mexican star admitted after his loss, saying his body let him down. Terence Crawford delivered an outstanding performance. Karn stated, "I feel for Canelo, but I'm really glad Crawford got the opportunity to show just how brilliant he is. His record hasn't fully reflected his talent. Don't get me wrong, he's had impressive wins, but he could have defeated even more of boxing's top fighters. Achieving this at 38 is truly remarkable."
Were you surprised by the outcome?
It's boxing, you know. Anything happen.
No doubt. My other question for you is, you know, with this win, everybody said Crawford elevated his status. He's the GOAT. Do you think this win puts him on Mount Rushmore or makes him a GOAT in boxing?
Everybody got their own opinion, so.
We often think about retirement, folks. I believe this was a great way for Canelo to step away, but I also think Crawford could move up to 160 pounds and win a world title, making him a 6th division champion. Alvarez was eager for the win, but Crawford didn't give in. Over 70,000 fans filled Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, and more than 41 million watched on Netflix. Crawford earned a close yet clear victory over Alvarez.
All right, so you know they'll kill me if I don't ask you, right?
What?
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford wins unanimous decision victory.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fight?
I was trying to stay up. It was getting too late, y'all. It was like, I think by the time they came on, it was probably like 1 o'clock or something like that.
It was like 1 and some change.
Ennis was among the many spectators. The 28-year-old from Philadelphia has frequently challenged Crawford and has even been compared to a future Hall of Famer. A few weeks before Alvarez completed his training camp, Ennis, a switch hitter, was brought in. This led to criticism of Ennis for choosing to work with Canelo instead of facing Crawford. Despite the opinions of many boxing experts, here's what he had to say.
Y'all gonna see Canelo fighting Crawford, so I ain't got no comment on who gonna win a fight, you dig? If Crawford do what he's supposed to do, he got an option. If he don't beat Canelo. Simple as that.
When asked about his training camp with Canelo, he said it was only his second time training outside Philadelphia. It was just fun being in there with Canelo. He has 67 fights, so being in the ring with him was amazing. I'm glad I had the chance to spar with him, go fishing, spend time with my brother, and just enjoy myself. My weight is going up, and I wanted to try something different. I really enjoyed it, he explained. When asked if he liked the experience, he added, "Why not?" Sharing the ring with Canelo, a Hall of Famer, a legend, the face of boxing, was incredible. The sparring was top-notch, and I had a fantastic time. I really enjoyed being in there with him.
Yeah, why not? You know, why not you be able to share the ring with Canelo and like I said, being there with a Hall of Famer, legend, and face of, kind of like the face of boxing, why not?
When asked about how his sparring sessions with Canelo went viral and how many boxing fans saw it, he said, "I knew it was going to be crazy. Once we posted the photo, I thought, this is going to spread everywhere. You could say it adds to the drama of the situation and makes people pay more attention. Honestly, I don't care about the reactions. I have to be honest, I did it for myself, especially during the first 2 weeks of camp with altitude training. This was for me, not for anyone else," he added.
I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
He says that till he goes to Canelo.
I'm obviously going to say that this is a 60-40 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's going to win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
He's sparring against a great fighter, world champion in Ennis, and like I said before, iron sharpens iron. And maybe it will. But on the other side, it was interesting to hear your side of how, whether it's the overtraining or I think more the mental side. What if Boots is getting the best of him? How does that affect Canelo going into this fight? Why would you want to even put that doubt in your fighter's head going into...
Teddy Atlas, the legendary boxing analyst, expressed concern that involving Jaron Ennis could backfire on Canelo. Atlas believed that facing a fighter like Ennis would exhaust Alvarez by September 13th.
Yeah. As much as a lot of people... say we have similarities and, we switch a lot and we fight a lot. He's not me, and I'm not him, so.
Tim had said comparison that he's like a...
Preparations were underway on both sides, but the spotlight was on Alvarez's camp because of his sparring with Jaron Ennis. Canelo chose this to train with an elite fighter and ensure he was fully ready to face Crawford. However, not everyone was happy with the decision.
Boots brought the best out of Canelo. I don't know how many rounds they may have sparred, if it's true, but if it is true, I'm assuming that Boots may have brought the best out of Canelo Alvarez in that sparring. Showed him different looks, the switch hitting. I'm pretty sure they probably wanted Boots to, emulate Crawford or just to be who he is.
What's yours?
My opinion is I like who I like. I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker.
What do you think?
I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard and James Toney. So they my top guys that I've been watching.
I don't want him taking it too far in the gym. I don't want him getting into that kind of fight there. I don't want wars with my guy who has 65 fights, Atlas said. I would have Canelo face opponents with only a day or two to prepare, but only fighters as smart as him. Atlas was concerned about Alvarez's age catching up with him. Crawford may be older, but Canelo has more mileage on his body. Sparring with Ennis simply adds more rounds to his wear and tear. It will be interesting to see if Alvarez shows any signs of fatigue on fight night.
Highly, put it this way, I'll get right to the point. I wouldn't want wars with my guy who's been in 65 fights or 60 whatever, and is at that,
This is crazy, Chester.
I just didn't want to see
Chester.
I didn't want to see
Chester. You got a Team Crawford shirt on, hoodie on, but you going against me? You going against me? What'd he say, Red?
I said don't get spilled.
No. What'd he say?
He said you just want to see him lose.
Thank you.
Even with extra support, Alvarez struggled to find answers as Crawford dominated all 12 rounds fighting as a southpaw. While beating Crawford remains his main goal, Ennis couldn't help but praise Crawford's performance. Crawford's win was impressive, as was the fight itself. Ennis told YSM Sports Media, "It was a great victory. He reached a historic milestone and had an excellent win. It was amazing to watch as a fan, but now I'm focused on my own career." The former unified welterweight champion recently gave up his WBA and WBC ring titles and is determined to reclaim championship status at 150 pounds. His debut at the new weight class will be against Wisdom Limo on October 11th at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, giving him a chance to make a statement and capture a secondary belt. "I'm feeling great," he said. "It's almost time. I'm ready to put on a show. Expect a strong performance and a spectacular knockout."
When I saw Canelo in the vest, I was like, nah. I was like, no, he's gonna pull it off here. And it was an amazing performance by Terence Crawford. I'm gutted for Canelo, but I'm actually pleased that Crawford is getting the opportunity to show how great he is, because his resume hasn't really allowed that. Don't get me wrong.
Terence Bud Crawford was celebrated not only on the eve of his 38th birthday, but also honored in a way few fighters ever experience. A hometown parade drew an estimated 20,000 fans, turning the streets into a sea of blue and gold with Crawford at the center. Riding atop a semi-truck throne, he raised his hand to the cheering crowd as camera flashes lit up the scene. Amid the excitement, he sent a short but powerful 6-word tweet that spoke volumes. His roots, his city, and his achievements mean more than any single fight. Crawford's win over Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas made headlines, but his homecoming took the celebration to another level. Nebraskans lined the streets, thousands of families attended, and the event felt like a coronation for a hometown hero. Very few boxers in history have been crowned undisputed champions across multiple divisions. Despite the celebrations, there was a sense of finality. At 38, some wonder if the Canelo fight was his last. In interviews, Crawford made it clear that his fights were never about money, but about legacy. Reflecting on critics who questioned his career choices, he said, "It's strange because when I was with Top Rank, everyone was saying I was broke or this and that. I was earning well, but I kept thinking I didn't need to box. I could retire. You box because you have to. I box because I enjoy it."
Like a once-in-a-lifetime fight.
42-0, waving to the crowd, pumping his fists like he does so well.
And a kid on his lap, I love it. Guys, I'm having a hard time hearing you, but it's hard to hear anything because it is loud. The city of Omaha is out. Bud Crawford making his way to the heartland of America.
I like who I like. You know, I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker.
What do you think?
I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard and James Toney. So they my top like guys that I've been watching. You know?
Fair enough. Last question on the topic: is that a fight? Because people want to know: is that a fight that you still are interested in, or you moved on? You moved on from wanting to fight Crawford. Is this still a fight that you have interest in?
My main focus right now is October 11th. That's all I'm worried about. October 11th. I ain't worried about no outsiders. You know, I'm locked in. That's how.
They'll be talking about Bud Crawford, the kid from Omaha, Nebraska, 100 years from now, how he moved up 2 or 3 divisions and defeated Canelo Alvarez. I'm confident my name will be remembered and discussed long after I'm gone. That's what legacy is, Crawford said. His words carry deep personal meaning, and only time will show if that promise is fully realized. On this day, Omaha seemed to understand this was more than a typical victory parade. It was a celebration of identity, memory, and anticipation. Crawford's home state became a stage for his achievements, amplified by the city that helped shape him. It's well known that Ennis struggles to make 147 pounds, which prompted his move up to junior middleweight. To be honest, I'm not sure if Boots will stay at 147, Hearn told the boxing world.
The fight too as well, you know, you're kind of like tunnel vision when it comes to your opponent. And the only reason why I ask is because, you know, Turkey had mentioned that if Teo gets past Barboza, we could see a fight with you and Teofimo. I know Top Rank tried to make that fight as well. So I was just curious now, like, what do you think of Teofimo as a fighter?
He's a good fighter, you know, good fighter. That's about it.
The Stenone fight was impressive in performance, though the medical numbers weren't as striking. Still, it's clear Boots will perform much better at 154 pounds. He planned to stay there to unify titles, and he achieved that goal. It's a tough choice moving forward. Ideally, they'd like a fight with Teofimo Lopez, but if Boots stays at 147, that matchup could happen. If not, he'll likely move up to 154, with fights like Brian Norman in Japan or Barrio versus Pacquiao. The unifications at 147 aren't fully there yet. Boots is a unique fighter, Hearn explained. I don't think he's driven purely by money. Of course he cares, but it's about legacy. He's willing to push his body to make 147, but only for unification. The Lopez fight is different, but still important. We'll need to make a decision soon. Ennis even hired a dietitian to help him make weight for the Stenone fight. On fight night, he looked noticeably bigger than Stenone and dominated easily. However, Hearn admitted that hitting 147 pounds was still a challenge. It wasn't as extreme as the Kieran Chikagian fight, but over the week, many noticed how tight he looked at that weight. I wasn't dead on the scale for Stenone, not at all, but continually dropping down to 147 is a big ask, he said.
On that and him saying those comments.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know what you're talking about. I've been so locked in and zoned in on what I got going on. I ain't been worrying about nobody else doing nothing. Like, I just been going to the gym, training, you know, locking in books and things like that, you know, even coloring a little bit. I'm just so focused on what I got going on. I really ain't been on social media. I post whatever.
And it's more than just making weight. It's about performing at your absolute best. I believe even in the Stenone fight, he wasn't showing his most powerful version, which is surprising because it was already incredible. But at 154 pounds, you'll see someone with even more power, even though he already carries it at 147. That's all for now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated on the latest boxing news, highlights, events, and action. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you'll be alerted whenever we post high-quality content like this.